Hey everybody, I need to enhance an image that looks like this, but I need to use something called Enhance in Photoshop to bring it up to look like this. But here's the problem. I just got a couple of emails. People are saying, what the heck happened to Enhance in Photoshop? And it drives me crazy, but here we go. Are we ready for this? Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, this is dedicated to photography and as a photo artist trying to push ourselves out creatively thinking out of the box. All right, so I had a couple of really cool emails that came in to me. And by the way, if you have any issues or you'd like to email me privately, that link will be in the show notes. Here was the challenge. Somebody had mentioned, what in the heck happened to Enhance in Photoshop? Hey, I see it in Lightroom. I think it's still there, but what happened to it in Photoshop? And it's one of the things that I can't answer why Adobe does what they do. I mean, I've been dealing with this since 1997, is we've had this feature and all of a sudden, wait a minute, it's gone, or the look of it is different and the interface is different. And they maybe put it somewhere else. I don't know. In fact, this is way back years ago, certain things were located under a certain drop-down menu. And then all of a sudden, with an upgrade to the software, it was no longer there. We thought we got rid of it. And no, it's just relocated somewhere else. So again, it's just, you're sort of used to where things are at, and all of a sudden they disappear and you have to hunt and look for it. So let's dive into Lightroom right now. If you've been following me, I don't use Lightroom. So I had to temporarily set this up just to show you that if you do use Lightroom, and this is an image that I worked on when I was in Nashville, and I photographed her. This was just in the storage room. We like the colors to do stuff. This is the finished shot right there. The edited one, I should say, but this is the original one out of the camera. If you right mouse click on the tray at the very bottom on the image there, right up here, you'll see, let's see, where to go? Enhance is right there. And when you choose Enhance, you're going to get this dialog box that opens up. Now, I'm not going to walk through these features because we're going to talk about this in Photoshop, but you'll see an interface open up and it says Enhance uses AI to improve image quality. The results will be saved as a DNG file, which is really, in theory, a raw file. It's just sort of a universal raw file that Adobe came up with years and years ago. And so I'm not going to apply this. I'm going to cancel that. But we're so used to, just right mouse clicking and finding Enhance in the little pop-up menu. Well, that all changed. Let me close out of this. That all changed in Photoshop. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up a raw file. And this is back when I was in Nashville. And I purposely did this. I shot this image. Let me just double click on this to open that up. So this is going to open up in what they call ACR, Adobe Camera Raw. And if we zoom in on this, you can see that there is a lot of digital noise. Now I shot this at 6,000 ISO. 2.8 was my f-stop. I think it was 35 mil wide open on my lens. And again, this is something I do not do on a regular basis, but it was like super dark. And I go, what the heck? Let me try a shot at 28 and let me jump up my ISO. And knowing that I'm going to get a lot of digital noise. So how can I fix that? Well, we used to be able to do this. Right here, anywhere in the image, if you right mouse click, Enhance used to be here. And the two emails that I got, they're right. They're not there anymore. So what happened to it? So here's what they did. If you move over here to the right side, which I didn't want to zoom in yet, you come over here and down here where it says Detail on the interface, expand that out by clicking on that. And automatically it's defaulting to sharpening. I'm going to leave that alone. We'll talk about sharpening a little bit later, but let me zoom in on this. You can really see. Now, you would never look at it like that, but you can see the digital noise right there. And sharpening, if I push the sharpening all the way to the right, it's really, really bad. If I move to the left, yeah, it sort of smooths out. But so a little trick here on sharpening, and that is if I push this all the way far to the right a little bit, you're going to see a masking feature here. And if I hold the Alt key down, Option on a Mac, and don't let go, move the slider, you'll see everything blanks out to white. As I move this, the areas that are black is what's getting sharp. I'm sorry, the areas that are getting in white is the areas that will be sharpened. The areas that are like light gray and almost black or true black is not going to be applied to any sharpening at all. So if I let go of that now, you can see that, yes, this sort of smooths out the digital noise a little bit because it's not sharpening it. So there's before and it's after, but you can see the edge, right? The edge is still that because that's where it's applying that sharpening. So I'm just going to pull that back a bit. We don't need it that strong. So it's just important to see that. Okay, so what happened to Enhance? And by the way, I'm recording this in 2025, the beginning of May. You're watching this toward the end of May of 2025. Maybe it's going to change. But under detail, we used to have actually a button here on the interface that said Enhance. And we actually got the same menu that you just saw in Lightroom that popped up. Well, they took away the button, and now the features here where it says denoise. Now, raw details here, there's a little pop-up menu that says improves details and reduces artifacts in most raw files. Super resolution, I'm not interested in doubling the resolution of the image. It's big enough for me anyhow. But if I choose denoise over here, it's also going to choose raw details. It does that automatically for me. So let me select that. And then it's analyzing the image. And it takes a few seconds. It's giving me a countdown, about 10 seconds there. So we'll see how long that will take. But it's all based on the size of your image, the processing speed, and really how much analyzing it has to do. So there you go. So this, if I pull back on this, you can see what it did. It really cleaned up the digital noise. And then I can go back and resharpen if I want. But now what I want to do is, after I have that done, let me close out of detail for right now. And I'm going to go to the category called light. And I want to push my exposure up. And this is all based on me remembering what the room looked like. Now, the room was very, very dark. And somebody had opened the door to get some fresh air, and then it blasted in a lot of light here. And so I'm going to pull my contrast down a little bit, maybe push the highlights up a bit. Shadows, let's push that up further. And the whites and the blacks. Okay, and all this is very, subjective. You're making the adjustments right here. So after I get done with that, if I take a look at this and zoom in, you can see how clean that is. Let it readjust there, but there we go. And, that digital noise is gone. If I come down here in the lower right-hand corner and I choose the little pop-up menu. In fact, before I do that, my color temperature is way off on this. So I'm going to go to color here, and I'm going to go to the temperature. I'm going to push this back the way I remember seeing that. So we're adding a little bit more coolness to this. So there's a before and after. Hopefully we can see that. Come down here where it says Open Object. I'm going to hit the little pop-up menu. And by the way, if you're learning anything, if you do me a favor, and that is like the video, that helps the algorithm on YouTube to push this out to other people. So again, like the video, subscribe if you have not subscribed, hit the notification bell. You'll get notified the next time I upload a video, which is approximately definitely once a week. I'm going to choose to open as object rather than open as a copy. And I'll talk about why in a minute. And this will come in, and it's a smart object layer now. And if I forgot to do something, which I did, and that is I'm not too thrilled with the color of the skin right here. It's got too much orange and yellow in it, in my opinion. So I'm going to double click on the layer, and it's a smart object. So it knows, hey, you were in Lightroom. You made the, not Lightroom, sorry, in Camera Raw, you made the adjustments. And so I'm going to come back, and it remembers all the settings. And what I'm going to do is come down to, let's go to Color Mixer here. And let me look at her arm there. And I'm going to go over here under the mixer, under Saturation. And I'm going to pull down the orange a bit and less saturation in the yellows to make the skin tone a little bit more natural looking than what it was before. So there is before. Whoops, there's before, and there is after. So hopefully we can see that on the video. And then I'm just going to click on OK. and it'll push it right back into Photoshop. So there's the adjustment right there. So anyhow, this is something I want to talk about really quick here, and that is the camera I was shooting at 6,000 ISO. You get a lot of digital noise. Could it be cleaned up? Absolutely. Could be cleaned up in Lightroom along with Adobe Photoshop. They changed the interface, right? How that works in Photoshop now with Camera Raw versus what we had, a few months ago. And Adobe, darn it, changed. Why they do this, I don't know. Maybe just to aggravate us or keep us on our toes. I mean, I have no idea. But here's what I want to ask you, and that is, I don't do a lot of extremely low light photography. And the camera I'm using is a Canon 6D Mark II in this situation. And it does okay under low light, but not that great. You just saw 6,000. Well, how many times do I shoot 6,000? A handful of times, maybe in a year, maybe not even that much. But anyhow, my point is, this is a great example of having the right tool for the right situation. If I shot a lot of low light photography, night photography, I would buy a newer camera that has better capability dealing with low light and digital noise, because the last thing I want to do is, if this is all I do constantly is low light stuff, I'm doing a lot of extra work. And I'm all about trying to minimize that extra work I have to do. And so, yes, definitely there are cameras out there with better sensors, newer sensor technology, processor technology, where low light is far better in the newer cameras at, say, 6,000 ISO than my camera. But again, I don't shoot that kind of photography. So once in a while when I do something under low light, okay, I can fix it. And there are plugins, third-party plugins that probably will do a better job than maybe Adobe does. I don't own those things or use them because, again, this is not my forte. I don't shoot all these low-light situations. So anyhow, what's right for me as a camera doesn't mean it's right for you. And I try to emphasize it to people all the time, that photography, which was pounded into my head, is learning all these different choices that you have, and pick the choice that matches your style and what you want to do. Because what you do in photography is going to be different than what somebody else wants to do. And so what's right for me doesn't mean it's right for you. And what's right for you doesn't mean it's right for me. It's all about choices. All right, so hopefully you learned something here. If you have any questions or issues, make it in the comments. That's fine. If you're afraid to make comments, you can send me a private email. The address is in the show notes. Until next time, let's get that camera out, think creatively, literally out of the box. Till next time, see ya.